Okay, the next component I want to talk about is the control module. The control module houses the turbo, the guide, the lock switch, and this interesting switch here that changes the functionality of the joystick to the digital pad, left analog stick, or the right analog stick. And right here, try to show you guys. See if we got a camera. So hard to see. Right here is a PCB with a bunch of solder points labeled. These solder points are for the LEDs, the buttons, and the switches themselves. But let me open this up and show you what's underneath. It's very similar to what the terminal block looked like. It's going to be an exposed PCB. Remember, take your screws, throw them into your compartment bin or plastic container. So here we go. Try to move this. So here underneath the control module is a circuit board. From the bottom it looks very simple. You have the 3 ribbon cables here with labels and 4 screws holding the circuit board in place. So let me remove this and show you what is hidden. As always, there's always some kind of special surprise when you open up these things. That's another one. And the last one. Grab my screws here and put them away. The circuit board itself is held into place by 2 tabs here, or that's three tabs. So when you remove it, gotta be kind of careful not to snap the tabs. There you go. So what you see here are these soft, I guess you can call them contact pads. They're just like the ones you see in a standard controller. You push them, they touch two connectors, which would be ground and signal, and it activates. So on the PCB itself, you see a bunch of LEDs. That's for the turbo lights. You see 4 LEDs here. That's for the Xbox controller identification lights. You got a couple, I believe these are resistors here, a diode, and these 2 switches here. The one for the joystick functionality is a 3-position switch. The lock switch is a standard single position dual throw switch, and you know, it's either on or it's off. Now you might be asking, what's so interesting about this? Well, for those modders out there who want to add additional functionality to the lock switch, you can actually expand the functionality to the start and select button, or start and back for Xbox 360 users. What you see under here are 3 points. Very hard to see on the camera, I know, but believe me, there's 3 points here. The middle one is the point that feeds ground to the turbo and the guide button. If you don't believe me, I'm going to try to show you on camera. There's a middle ground trace here that leads to the middle point of the switch here. It leads to the 2 grounds. When the switch is on, which means lock is engaged, there's no ground being fed to the 2 buttons. When the lock switch is off, which means lock is not engaged, ground is being distributed to the 2 buttons, which means you can then use them. So those interested in doing the mod, the 1 point solder point you want to worry about is the middle one. And the mod is very simple. All you need to do is solder a wire to this middle point, which would be the ground, daisy chain it to the grounds of the start and back button, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Very simple and very effective. Why? Because a lot of people don't like to play under lap or a tabletop. Some like to play on a chair with the high back towards the back of the stick, or some like to sit in the ground and wrap their legs around this side, which you can accidentally push the start button, and you don't want that. You don't want to give your opponent the free win. That's kind of a crummy scrub win for him. So that's pretty much the thing you are interested in with this circuit board here for the control module. The last thing I want to talk about concerning the frame is the USB storage compartment. Now, if you want to mount your little toggle switch for your dual system mod, a clever way of hiding the switch would be inside this compartment. Now, obviously, you're gonna have to drill some holes, some mounting holes for your switch. So the best way to do that is to remove the actual compartment so you can get a straighter drill hole. You don't want a crooked drill hole, because that way your switch will be mounted crooked and it's not gonna look pretty. So the best way is to take this thing out. So by removing the 2 screws, you can easily take out the USB compartment, and then you can take your power tool and your drill bit to it and drill where you want to drill. I prefer to mount my switch to the side here. That way it hides towards the back of the compartment, and you can still put all your cordage and everything in there without bothering the switch. But it's up to you. I mean, whatever you want to do, that's your choice. It's your mod, your joystick. That's just how I would do it. So let me go ahead and put these screws back and move on to the control panel.